Hey there, and welcome to Binder Minder. Today is a little bit of binder therapy or mail day. For the last week, I've had a whole bunch of stuff coming in. It's tax time. My wife picked me up a couple things, and then I've ordered a bunch of stuff that's come in over the last week as well. So I've got a pile of stuff here, and then Secret Lair, and then my wife picked me up a Secret Lair as well. So we got a couple things to open up before we get everything put into the binders. So let's go ahead and start with, let's save the Secret Lairs for last. And we'll just start with this stuff. So here on top, I've got this Soren. This was just a gift from my wife. She, like I said, she picked up a few cool things for me. And this is one of the cards she did not get when she got the Innistrad Remastered. So I figured I'd pick it up for her. The borderless version. Pretty sharp. You guys know, if you've watched any other videos, I have a whole bunch of collections that I'm working on filling in. Specifically the Alt Art Mystical Archives I've been working on getting stuff for, and special guests. So there's going to be a few of those in here, and with Mystical Archives, the Japanese ones, I never really know which ones are which. I can't read them, and sometimes I can recognize them, but very, very rarely. So we got another Mystical Archive there, Persistent Petitioners, and this really cool Solemn Simulacrum. It's not expensive. This is actually, I think, is one of the coolest versions, just from Doctor Who, and then this is the Surge Foil version. I've got some cards for some decks. Specifically, I've got a Pauper deck of all just cheap cards that I tossed together a while back that when I was ordering stuff, I started kind of throwing cards in there for. And then I've got one that I call Eggs, which is, again, another cheap deck, but it's all eggs, and it's all shapeshifters to be able to, set off the egg effects. So a whole bunch of these cards, including all these, are going to be for those decks. Changelings. There's some 7 Dwarfs. It kind of goes into the Persistent Petitioners. Those are just the rule break cards, or they call them Relentless cards as well, to match the Relentless Rats. It's another card, the Farseek that might be for my wife's deck, to be honest. And then this right here, this adorable kitten, is for her. Where's that Soren? Got some Templar Knights. So, like with the 7 Dwarves and the Persistent Petitioners, I have a thing for these cards where you can rule break and run as many as you want. And Templar Knights have finally dropped down in price. And I found a couple people who were selling Templar Knights that were also that were $1, which is like the low end of the pricing, but they were selling 3 or 4 or more. So there's a couple orders of Templar Knights in here. The Ornithopter, this Mind Stone. This is actually pretty cheap, and it's also the promo version, which I thought was pretty cool looking. Biden Nathassa, I think that's for my wife's deck. Convert to Slime, that's for my slime deck. And Rat Colony, so this is actually my last Rat Colony needed for my Rat Colony white bordered deck. So finally the last card for that one. And then I got a couple pathways here for one of the decks. I'm not sure which one. I love running those. So Gush, it's for one of the decks. And then this Crash Through, funny enough, I like this card, but I ordered this with a special guest. And I added this in there to bump it over for free shipping, and then they couldn't find the special guest, so I only ended up getting this card. Can't really complain though, it's pretty cool. It's got a 80s cartoon artwork, which you see the playmat is I kind of dig that. So another stack of cards for decks, I believe. Yep, all of these are for decks, and then this is all decks except for this special guest on top. That's just one of those where it's a $3 special guest card, and I wanted to get to $5, and so I added in stuff for other decks that we've got going on, or these Ornithopters, just a card that I know I'll use here and there. More deck cards. See the nesting dragon, he creates eggs. Mirror entity, then another shapeshifter, and then a soul ring for one of them. That's the only problem with them, we build some decks and you got to keep track of what all you've got coming and going and what goes to each deck as well. So kind of keep track of all that can be a pain. So I think these are just some random cards I added into this one. I don't know if these are for decks or not. If you've watched a few of our videos, you've seen how bad my luck has been with Aether Drift, but there's a few of these Japanese showcase cards that I actually really like. And this is the Mimeoplasm one, and I got this for $3. A bunch of these, since the set's been pretty unpopular, a bunch of these are really, really cheap, especially if you get the Japanese versions. And I just like the artwork, especially since he's holding a little Tyrannosaurus Rex toy there. I thought that was pretty cool. So this is just going to be another one that I throw in to I don't really have a specific collection for it, but some more Mystical Archive alt art cards, at least that one is. And then a Persistent Petitioners. A special guest, Port Razor. And a Swords to Plowshares. This is from one of those decks, I'm not sure which one. More 4 deck cards. And a Mystical Archive. And then I'd have to guess, this Elite Cat Warrior, I'm going to guess that's for my wife. She eventually wants to create a little bit of a collection of all the cats. So sometimes if I'm looking for, a 25-cent card or something, just type in cat and see if I find one I haven't seen. And I'm pretty sure I'll probably end up ordering this Elite Cat Warrior like 5 times because I keep seeing it. And I always forget that I have already ordered it, so... Another special guest, a Mystic Snake, and a Soul Warden as well. So Duskmorn and a Outlaws of Thunder Junction special guest. Inspiring Call. This is actually for my slime deck as well. And then this Abrade. I just like these 4 Abrades. If I'm looking to bump up over a certain amount, which I was, to get this regrowth for my wife from the Storm Secret Lair, and then I picked up the Muldrifter from the recent Secret Lair that's in the Festival in a Box. I just like the artwork on that one. So I got a Steve, some more Mystical Archives. This one's already sleeved up, just one Mystical Archive there, and I believe this one's also just sleeved up. This might be Sign in Blood, I think. Make sure there's only one card in here. Yep, just the one card. Alright, some more Templar Knights. This is a big bundle here. So initially this is what got me excited with the whole thing, is I came across one person who had like 13 or 14 Templar Knights. And I've just been putting it off. I had a deck that brewed a long time ago, and I was excited to build it, but the overall cost of the deck, especially once these cards are in the $2, $3, $4 range, it just gets to be a little too much. So once they come down in price, which they don't always come down in price, some of them just seem to stay there, but this one went from $3 down to like $1 recently, so can't really complain. This is from that same seller. They had more Templar Knights, the non-foil ones. And then they had propagandas from Assassin's Creed as well. We use these all the time, so. Then my wife picked me up a couple cards. She got me the last 2 Transformer cards I needed for that collection. And she also picked up this special guest, Star Compass. This is one of those cards where it's been cheap. It's like $1.50, $2. And I've tried to buy it so many times, and it always ends up somebody buys it before I end up completing my cart, or the seller ends up doesn't have it in stock. And I was telling her the story about that, and she ended up ordering it for me, probably just so I didn't complain about it to her anymore. Got some more Persistent Petitioners here. There's a Persistent Petitioner. Another one there, and then I did order one extra rat colony. I ordered, typically, if I ordered as many as I did here, there's usually one order that just falls through. So I did order an extra one just in case. And then these were just, like, I love these foil retro cards. And the Terramorphic Expanse, I just use that one quite often. I think it was like 20 cents or something, so I tossed it in there. Some more Templar Knights. Or at least one more Templar Knight. Let's see what we got. I'm pretty sure with all these that I'm actually pretty much set on Templar Knights. Yeah, there's 4. The only thing I'm missing and I'd like to get is one foil etched version of it, since it is available in those. But those haven't dropped. Those actually have gone up. I think they're $4 or more. So I just kind of have put them off over and over again. Canopy Vista Extended Art with the Search Foil. I think this is just one of those where I was doing an order for something, maybe that Templar Knight, and it was available, and it's a card that I use in a lot of decks. Same thing with the Stormcarved Coast. And then I picked this up for my wife. I got myself one of these recently, but I know that she liked it, and she doesn't even know I've got it yet. But I picked her up a Flubs the Fool, the box topper. And then this last bundle right here has got a little bit of a different story. I was ordering this other Secret Lair that's over here, this Aether Drifters. So I ordered this original Secret Lair, and I kind of set a dollar limit for myself at the time. And I needed to cut one out, right? And this Aether Drifters, I thought, well, maybe this is one of the few that might not sell out. All the cards in it were worth almost nothing. And so I kind of gambled, and with the expectation that maybe it would still stay in stock. And then sometimes when they stay in stock, they're really cheap to buy on TCG Player, especially if you buy them individually. Well, this one did not. Sorry, I didn't mean to hit the camera. This one definitely sold out, especially for the foil version. And they were expensive for quite a while, but this one dropped down, so I snatched it up. And when I paid for that one, when I was getting that one, I paid for shipping on that. And that seller happened to also have some of the other, the Lorwyn lands from that same Secret Lair. And so I was able to pick up all of the Lorwyn lands in foil. So Wizard sold these for $40, right, for the foil ones. And I think I got this for like $27, $28. And we were looking earlier, especially if you didn't want these in foil, depending on the sellers, you might be able to get all of them together for about $20, which is pretty crazy. It's just one of those things where, sometimes the Secret Lair sells and sometimes it doesn't. And if you get lucky and it just happens to be one you want that didn't sell out, you can sometimes get a really good deal by looking on TCG Player. And the reason is because a lot of these sellers, they buy the whole bundles of all the Secret Lairs in bulk. They get a bunch of them. And those ones that didn't sell out, there's not a lot of interest in them, even on TCG Player. So they sell them at a loss to clear them out and make their money on the other Secret Lairs, So, and this one, these are beautiful art, but this is just one of those layers where the only other than buying all these just to have the art, the only way to justify getting all these is if you're using decks that fit these, and each one of these is like separate colors, and this one's for merfolk, and this is for fairies, and this is for elves, goblins and giants. And most people aren't going to have all these decks. At most, you're only going to want like one or two of these, So, and then that's assuming to, like, my wife has an elf deck, but she has a mono green elf deck, and this is black green. So I can understand why they're not as popular, but it is a way to get some cool artwork for a deal. So anyhow, I talked way too long on that one. Just set that aside. And then with that same seller, they also had a borderless Golgari Rot Farm and a Boros Garrison. And they had a special guest. And again, it's one of those situations where sometimes the sellers will set a very high shipping price, but then they adjust all their other cards down to accommodate, to match that shipping price to still be competitive. And if you end up buying one card, or if you buy a couple, sometimes you can find some good deals. So, all right. The only thing that's left are the 2 Secret Lairs. We've got the Aether Drifters. We'll open this thing up. Check these out. As for the special, or the bonus card on these, it's just going to be one of the zombie cards. And I would love to get one of the, well, it's a zombie card, or there's the 7 Dwarves is the expensive bonus card. There are a few zombie cards that are pretty nice as well. Some of the zombies, they're all retro foil cards, so let's see if we get anything special. And these cards themselves are pretty cool anyhow, so they look like Hot Wheels, including the back of it. But like I said before, all these cards, every one of these is, you know, for the regular version of the card, it's less than $1. There just wasn't a whole lot of value in the cards themselves. I think the most expensive one is the token, which is ironic. It's the actual token, not even a vehicle. So I was a little surprised that they sold out. It's not that they're not cool, because these are really cool looking. But you have to be able to look at both sides. And it's just not a card that you normally expect somebody to be playing too much. So this is the most expensive one, the token one. And then we have Diagraph Captain. I'm not sure if this is one of the ones that are valuable at this point. There's a couple of the zombies that are valuable, but I'll check on that here in a minute. Last up is the last Secret Lair, and my wife picked this one up for me. Jurassic World Secret Lair, the Dr. Ian Malcolm set. And this just happens to be the last stuff I need for the Jurassic World collection. And as it says, life finds a way. Well, the wife finds a way and picked one of these things up. And this has got one of the coolest looking boxes too. Love the colors on these things. I get why they go with the little nice, easy to ship envelopes, but these boxes are just so cool. I mean, imagine you have all your Secret Lairs. You can have like an old movie rack of them. They take up a lot of space though. The bonus card for this is known. There's no special bonus card in this one. See if we can pull these apart without... let's see. I don't know where my scissors are. I'll open it up this way. Don't want to bend the cards up trying to take it out. So, and then we got Chaos Theory for the bonus card. Which is Chaos Warp. Like I said, Chaos Theory, Chaos Warp with Ian Malcolm on it. And I don't know, did I have a spot for these? Yeah, over here. And then we got Chaotician, which is Laboratory Maniac. Malcolm's Mercurial Mirth. Ian. This is Super Sexy Ian. And then you have the Dr. Ian Malcolm, which is the Ala Polina Nest Tender. This is the egg. This is actually the commander for my egg deck. And then you have the egg, the Ian Malcolm egg token with a regular back. All right, I'm going to get all this stuff, lost my words there. I'm going to get everything sleeved up and ready to go in the binder, and then I'll put everything in the binder here in just a minute. So we'll see you then. Bye. Okay, we are back. I got everything all sleeved up and ready to go. We just got to get everything put in the binder. And I can see we have some pretty good glares going on, but I can't do anything about them tonight for some reason. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing we've got going on here, my wife did give me all the Dr. Ian Malcolm Secret Lair cards. So we have all of those to put in, and that'll actually complete our Jurassic Park collection completely. So I just need to get these in the right order so I don't have to change it later. 97, 96, 95, 94, and then this is the bonus card. So we'll go ahead and do the bonus card here. And then boom and boom. And then for this last page over here, move this over so you can see it. I might have to rearrange this binder a little bit. This is a pretty big open section here. With this completed, this is a lot to be right there at the front. But I'm sure something will come up. Next up we have the Transformers. All of these are done except for the last two cards. And again, my wife was generous enough to get me a gift, which was the last two cards to complete this. Let me take those out real quick. Two cards. So we have True Conviction and Dramatic Reversal. One is not foil, one is foil. You can tell which one's foil, huh? Funny enough, with these, the foils are cheaper because of how much they crinkle. But in a binder, unless they're really, really bad, Pringles are okay. They kind of get flattened out a little bit, and if it really is an issue, there are ways to get rid of the Pringles. And I am too cheap to spend extra to get a non-foil in that situation. I'd actually prefer to have the foil typically. So next up we have our Mystical Archives. So let's get to those. We had a few of those. So we had 5. Look at these, put these in order real quick. That way they're easy to find. So we're looking for number 80. So these are the 70s. And then 80 is going to be over here. Let me move the binder over. I believe I have a double. I do. I've done this a few times. I don't know how I've done it. I actually remove them off my list every time I order them, but maybe I'm forgetting to do it every once in a while or something. I'm not sure. Next one is going to be 95. It's going to be on the next page here. I get all excited that I'm going to get one more card towards being completed, and then I find it's a double. It can be kind of frustrating. 103 is the next one over here. So this is 104. That's 103. 2, 1, and 0. That is correct. And then we have 106. So 4, 5, 6. We made some good progress on this page. And our last one is 121. 121 is not a double. Thank goodness. All right. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 20 to go. This is one of those sets where it's very top heavy. There's like 3 that are $50 or more, all at the top. That's why I'm just trying to fill in as many as I can on the lower end, and then I'll pick up those last. I think a majority of those are $10 or more, and then of course you have one that's $100 and one that's $40. So kind of adds up. We have no Birds of Paradise. We don't have any of the humans from Assassin's Creed, but we do have special guests. We have quite a few of them, if I remember correctly. Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Put these in order real quick. Alright, Star Compass is going to be your first one. Star Compass is the first one over here. I do love having these tags in here. kind of nice to be able to pull a tag out and see what we've accomplished. Next number I'm looking for is 33. So there's 31, 32, 33 for Port Racer. And then we have 39, Thought Not Seer. It's going to be up here. Let me slide it over. It's up here. Next up is Mystic Snake, which is number 35. I guess I did these in the wrong order, but it's about here. And then we have Soul Warden at 65, 71, Soul Warden right here. And last up is Goblin Bushwhacker at 78. And that's right here at the top corner. Like I said, I'm pretty sure I have to look. I've got a few more of these on order. My goal is to fill in as many of these gaps as I can. We do have, at some point, I got to transfer some stuff over. My wife has a bunch of special guests as well, and we're going to kind of combine their stuff. Making it we made the joke of, it'd be like a museum borrowing someone else's art and having from the collection of kind of thing. But at some point, we do need to move some of her stuff over, and I know that I believe she actually just pulled this weekend. I've got that on order. And she just bought the Bone Miser. She's got a few of the other big ones, so it'll make a pretty big difference. I've got this on order. I've got this in the deck. This is on order. She has this. I've got this in a deck. I believe I have this on order. She has this Victimize. She has this Mana Crypt. I've got Gulta, Carnage, Tyrant. These are on order. This one got canceled, and she's got this one as well. So I actually think she's going to be using that on her own deck as well. So I don't know if we're going to get a second one or not. But point is, making some progress. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 29, 30, 31. 48. We got 48 more cards to go. It's like I said, it's a big collection. And these other ones, the ones I just finished up, these took me better part of a year picking them up here and there. So that's why we started these. And the idea with this one specifically is special guests, they add 10 more every set. So every time there's a new set, we get to expand, which is why, as you'll see, I've run out of room in the binder. I actually don't have enough room for the next set. So I've got another binder that just came in today. And once I figure out how I'm going to rearrange things, we'll get everything moved around. But anyhow, we can move on from this one. We did have the space up here, and I was just thinking, I had a couple cards here that I thought might be kind of cool to put in here. Let's see. These are all going in the other binder. Yeah, those are all for the other binder. But over here, what do we have? We got some Secret Lairs to put in here still. So these will all go back to back in the Secret Lairs. All right, so as far as Secret Lairs go, we got these lands that we picked up. 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. There's a good possibility I have to move all the Secret Lairs out of this binder. It's a lot. And, you know, it's kind of always ever expanding too. And then we have the Aether Drifters. 69, 68, 67, 66, 65, and 64. And we will split this up. So this came with, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, cool. That'll work out. We got our bonus card there. We'll slide that in and break up the two sets. And then from there over, we can fit everything. And on this next page over here, I did get Crash Through and Mold Drifter. I'm not sure. Maybe I should put those. I've got some other random collectibles over here. Yeah, I think these fit right here. These are just cards I like the art on. This is kind of my random section. There are some stuff that is Secret Lairs. These are Secret Lairs. So, kind of fits. All right. I'm going to switch binders. We'll be right back. I take that back. There was a card hiding underneath the thing. We got that Mimeoplasm. I'll just drop that in here right now. Actually, no, this can go in the front. I have those other cards coming. This would be a good excuse to use the front of this. There's going to be a few more of these Japanese showcases that are coming, and I have some of my other binder. Maybe I'll move them over here too. So now we'll switch binders. So this binder has some of my staples, things that I use often, and it has lands as well in here. But it's also become the home for all of my game break cheating cards. So cheating is not the right word for it, but cards that break the standard rules. So let's go ahead and get these staples that I had. A couple of cards that I wanted to drop in here. The propagandas, I use these, and like anytime I use blue. Probably should put these in a sleeve, but and then the braids. I've got a few braids here already, so it's not too bad of an idea to put that in there. And I had this Solemn Secret Lacrum that I love. Put that in there. That'll get used soon. Got a couple decks that already need that, so. All right. Figure out what the plan is here. I have a ton of these Templar Knights, and I'm going to have to rearrange things, so. I think maybe, oh boy, I'm running out of room. This is why I got a new binder. Well, I'm going to let you guys go for a second, and then we'll come back, and I'll get this all figured out. Okay, so I grabbed the Templar Knights here that we had. 2 foils, 2 regular ones that were already in here. I moved all the triomes. I just went ahead and moved them onto this page. This page only technically had these red-black lands, and the rest of the top row was open. So I run one whole row all the way across for each color combination. You can see that kind of here. So I had some room here, so I combined those, and that opened up basically 2 pages, which is 24 spots, which I think we're going to fill all the way up with Templar Knights. So I'm going to start off with the non-foils over here, and then we'll work our way back. So don't mind me. Speed this up. You guys don't need to watch me sit here and struggled with Templar Knights this whole time. Okay, so 2 whole pages of Templar Knights at 24, and then we got 2 more here. So we got 26, which is about the right number, depending on the deck that you build. I like to build around that number because I try to build lower power decks. If you're trying to build something stronger, you're going to have Thrumming Stone. You're going to have as many of these as you can fit into a deck. 30, 35 is really good. So we've got 1 extra rat colony, which I can include right here. And then I've got some persistent petitioners. Continue those from the other page right here. And I've got 2 7 drawers. So eventually it's going to be 7 of these things. I'll probably have to find a better spot for them, but I think by then I'm going to have a new binder. So we'll just drop those here next to this rat colony. It's just an extra one from my white border deck. So just in case I decide to change a little bit and add 1 more, I've got 1. Anyhow, that does it. I'll let you guys just stare at the Templar Knights as we do our closing here. I appreciate you guys watching. As always, I'd be very curious to see what you're interested in collecting, what you've got on order. Are you getting stuff in for your decks? Are you collecting like I am, or both like I am? Either way, I'd love to hear it. You can find us on Blue Sky. And until the next one, like, subscribe, ring the bell, and we'll see you then. Bye.